Yo, what's up guys? I'm Zack Scriven, and in this video, I'm going to show you guys 10 tips on how you guys can crush LinkedIn in 2019. And I'm with my boy, Sam Lister, top LinkedIn video influencer. And we're going to be showing you guys top 10 tips, and we're going to be taking turns sharing that with you guys. So if it sounds interesting, stay tuned. Tip number 1 is just start. So too many people overthink it, and the analysis paralysis, they just never end up starting. You got to realize that it's not like this high wall you got to jump. There's little steps you got to take. You just got to take that first step and just start. So tip number 1, just start.
And then tip number 2 I have for you guys is don't be intimidated. It's very scary hopping onto a new platform, specifically LinkedIn. If you're comfortable on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn is very different. But don't be intimidated by that. Look at it as a challenge that you can learn. You can learn a different platform and just really dig into the community and dig into what works, what doesn't, and just keep testing. But don't be intimidated when you're first on there. You see the top influencers and you question, why aren't I there? Why don't I have 100,000 followers yet? Why aren't my videos getting traction? But don't be intimidated by that and take it as a challenge that you just want to get better and learn the platform.
Tip number 3, don't be someone you're not. Don't be afraid to be yourself, because that's truly how people are going to connect with you, and you're going to be much more successful, and you're going to also really feel true to yourself, and it's going to be much more enjoyable.
And the 4th tip I have for you guys is consume other people's content, but don't exactly copy them. Look at what they're doing. If I try to be Gary Vee or Peter McKinnon, I'm going to fail, or Shay Rowbottom or Q. I'm going to fail because I am not those people. But it's important to consume their content and watch what they're doing and pick up on the trends. If Gary stops using hashtags, for example, that's a super specific small example, but then maybe you shouldn't use hashtags anymore because he knows his stuff. So just learn from other creators and get inspired by them, but don't necessarily copy everything they do, but just use them as inspiration.
Tip number 5, focus on story. So we all hear the word storytelling, and really what that means is you're connecting with someone's deepest desire to, it's like your inner child. When you read stories, when your parents read stories to you, it's connecting into that deep, subconscious level. And that's what people really connect with, is story. Also, think about the story on the small scale, but also think about story on the large, overarching scale. The story from when you were born to the last day of your life. Keep telling story, keep integrating your past into the present and into the future too. Don't be afraid to put something out there saying, hey, by the end of this year, I want to do 5 speaking engagements, and make that happen. That's a story, and people are going to connect with that, and you'll be surprised at what you can do with storytelling.
The 6th tip I have for you guys is add value. We see it a lot when people say, oh, you need to bring value, but what does that really mean? I'm saying just don't sell things right away. Make sure you're bringing value to your customers, your community, and just really engage with them and just build that ecosystem and give them tips, tricks, advice, but just don't sell. Don't take. Give more than you take, obviously, then that creates more leverage on your end. An example of this, if I create a video with 3 video tips on how to create awesome iPhone videos so you don't need to hire me, that's gonna build trust. Even though it seems counterintuitive, it still builds trust on the community and potential clients to then go to me to hire in the future. So just really focus on bringing value and not selling right off.
Tip number 7, gear doesn't matter. I started out with my phone. We did that for 3-4 months, doing video full time with my phone. So if you guys are not necessarily in a video business, you could probably get away doing video with your phone in perpetuity. Phones have really great cameras. Don't be afraid to use it. Don't be afraid to leverage it. You don't want your gear to be ahead of where you are. Your gear, it could follow you. So don't be afraid to also upgrade if you do want to increase that quality. It's not the most important part of your video. It's a presentation. It's the wrapping, but what's inside the box? Don't get over obsessed with the gear. Don't go out and spend a bunch of money on a camera that you don't need when you haven't filmed a video yet. Gear does not matter as much as you think it is.
Then the 8th tip I have is to engage your community and your audience. We see so many times big influencers, and not even big influencers, just any creators out there that don't respond to their own comments. Like, if someone takes time out of their day to leave a comment on your post, engage with them, talk to them, build that community. So that's one of the biggest tips for growth. Just engage with other people. If I'm in the video niche, engage with other video creators. If I'm in the automation niche, engage with that industry. So whatever industry you're in, and explore different industries. Just make sure to engage people, leave comments, share their content. If you like it, shoot them a DM, shoot them a voice message. Just really building that community is important, and engage with that audience.
Tip number 9, be creative. I know it might seem intimidating at first when you look at, people like Sam who are super creative, or people like Shay doing just amazing videos, but just be creative. Take small improvements. Each video, see if you can improve something a little bit better. Maybe it's the lighting, maybe it's going into manual exposure on your camera. Maybe it's adding captions to your videos, or doing some sort of creative transition. You'd be surprised at what type of creative transitions you can do just in camera. So what I mean by that is like maybe crossing like a pole or something and having that bring in a new frame, or going up to the sky and then going back down into another scene, or going into your chest, coming back out, and you're somewhere else, right? There's a lot of cool things that you can do just with your camera, and not necessarily any fancy editing. So be creative, do small improvements, and your videos are going to get better over time.
So the final tip I have for you guys is stop focusing on the numbers. Yes, the numbers and the likes, the comments, the shares, it's a very important metric to track, because it's the easiest metric to track in terms of growth and followers. But when you're first starting off, everyone starts with 0 followers. So don't just focus on followers or likes or comments. Just focus on showing up consistently, showing up every day, bringing value, and really engage with the community you have. Whether that's 10 people, 100 people, or 100,000 people. It only takes one person to make a change and really spark something for you. So just really focus on staying consistent, bringing value. Don't worry about the numbers. Don't worry about the comments, the likes, the shares, because it will come over time. Just bring that consistency and show up every day.
Guys, and that's all the 10 tips we have for you guys. So in summary, tip number 1, just start. Tip number 2, don't be intimidated. Tip 3, don't be someone you're not, be yourself. Tip number 4, consume other people's content, see what they do. Tip number 5, focus on your story at the micro level and at the macro level. Tip number 6, add value, don't sell. Tip number 7, gear doesn't matter as much as you think it does. Tip number 8, engage, comment, respond to your comments on your videos, but also comment on other people's videos, send messages, get on a phone call. Tip number 9, be creative, have small improvements, try to improve one thing each video. And tip number 10, don't get wrapped up in the numbers, because it's all relative. And bonus tip number 11, buy my course. Pick it up in the link in the video description, or go to crushlinkedinvideo.com. Yeah, it's 2 hours of high quality content, 25 videos. You can pick it up for about $10 using the offer code crush it. I think that you'll find value in it. So, oh yeah, also if you guys want to watch the full 1 hour conversation, I'll have a link to that podcast episode down below, where it was very meta. We planned this video and then we shot it within the podcast. So I hope you guys enjoy it.